And now we cut to AWA announcer Ken Resnick, who's with the former U.S. Express from the WWF, Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo. They're sporting their new red, white, and blue AWA color scheme.
Because nothing says patriotism like trading in your WWF glory days for a smaller paycheck and a slightly faded flag.
It's like the U.S. Express went from headlining WrestleMania to being the opening act at a county fair. But hey, red, white, and blue forever, right?
Wow, Mike, way to sell the match. Nothing hypes up a crowd like a promo that sounds like a team meeting at a mid-level accounting firm.
Oh yeah, we're here to do our jobs. Yeah, that's the kind of enthusiasm I expect from someone clocking in for a graveyard shift, not a tag team trying to get the crowd fired up.
Maybe next time he can throw in some real fire. You know, something like, we're here to win and we're gonna kick some ass. Instead, we'll do our jobs. Riveting stuff, Mike.
Now we've got Barry Windham striking the classic babyface interview pose, hands on his hips, while Ken Resnick asks the questions. It's like we've been transported back to a 1970s studio promo.
Yeah, Barry standing there posing like he's posing for the cover of Heroic Farmer Monthly. All he's missing is a tractor in the background.
Oh, the irony. Bringing in guys from Vince's WWF to talk about how the AWA has the greatest wrestlers. That's like borrowing your neighbor's Ferrari to convince people your station wagon is the best car on the block.
Barry, you're not fooling anyone. We know why you're here, and it's not because of the AWA's star power.
Oh, and here we have Mike Rotundo rocking a baseball jacket with his name written in cursive. So 80s. It practically comes with a side of neon leg warmers and a Walkman.
Honestly, if you handed him a Rubik's Cube, he'd complete the look. Rotundo's ready for prime time in 1985.
And then there's Barry sporting a jacket with the AC/DC lightning bolt on it. Real subtle, Barry.
You know, nothing says wrestling legend like looking like the roadie who got kicked off the tour bus.
Hey, at least he's consistently confused about his wardrobe choices.
Their opponents tonight are the fabulous ones, Stan Lane and Steve Kern, also known as Skinner from WWF.
Honestly, would you just look at the fabulous ones? I mean, they look like a cross between a surfer and a lion. It's like they couldn't decide if they wanted to catch waves or star in The Lion King.
They were packaged as teen heartthrobs. But let's be real, they're about 5 years past the heartthrob stage. At this point, they're more like heartburn material.
Stick around, folks. This match promises to be, well, something. Let's just hope it's more exciting than these wardrobe choices.
Yeah, they look more like the guys your mom had a poster of back in the 70s, but forgot to take it down. Because at this point, they're more retro than relevant.
And speaking of retro, what the hell's going on with Skinner's head? It looks like he's got a mop up there.
Did he wrestle a janitor earlier and lose, or is he doubling as the arena's cleanup crew? What was up with that fan in the blazer at ringside, screaming at the fabulous ones until security escorted him out?
Was he trying in addition to be their manager, or he was just really passionate about bad fashion choices? Either way, he made his mark.
Barry and Stan get us started with a lockup, but can we talk about the ridiculous hands on the fabulous ones?
At this point, they're not just fabulous. They're sticky. Watch out, Barry. You might get stuck to them.
It's like they rub sugar all over themselves and let it caramelize. Are they wrestling or auditioning to be human candy apples?
Stan Lane drops down for a monkey flip at Barry, but instead of taking it, Barry stomps on his frontal lobe. That's one way to counter the move.
You can tell there's a little more spring in the steps compared to the other workers we've seen tonight. That's not saying much, but hey, it's something.
It's like watching athletes compared to whatever we've been watching earlier. At least they're trying.
You know, at this point, even the ring ropes are skeptical.
Mike Rotundo takes control with a fireman's carry, showing some solid fundamentals.
And then the production team decides to cut to a guy in the crowd screaming about the top rope.
Did I miss something? Was there a secret subplot where the top rope stole this guy's lunch money?
It's like the cameraman's trying to inject drama where there isn't any. Let's find the one guy who's lost his mind about literally nothing.
Clearly, these are pathetic attempts to copy the WWF style. Can we just get normal crowd shots of people laughing or pretending to be in awe?
You know, at this point, even cutting to someone checking their watch would feel more authentic.
Instead, we get shots of people who either look uninterested or like they're mocking the show. It's like the cameraman's mission is to capture America's most disinterested fans.
Yet these people are still here and they don't give a damn. This crowd is a mix of bored extras and professional hecklers.
You know, it's like the AWA handed out free tickets to a casting call for America's Got Empathy. This production team really knows how to set the mood by tanking it.
Stick around, folks. The action might pick up, or we'll get another close-up of the guy yelling at the top rope. Either way, you won't want to miss it.
Stan Lane, who has a background in martial arts, comes in with a sidekick. You can see the tag team cohesion from the Fabulous Ones as Steve Keirn takes a powder.
Meanwhile, Rotundo drops Keirn with the forearm, and now we've got Barry and Mike running a headlock series as Windham hits the ropes.
Keirn goes up for a leapfrog, but Barry stops short and throws a right just as Keirn's boots hit the mat, and down he goes cold. That's good timing, at least.
Irish whip and double drop kick by the U.S. Express. Rotundo follows up with a takeover for a 1 count.
The ref waits so long to start the count, it's like he's double checking with Vern Gagne's lawyer to make sure it's okay.
Yeah, by the time he finally finishes the count, the crowd's left wondering if he's pinning the wrestler or timing a slow roast.
Stan Lane follows up with a karate chop to the throat because apparently martial arts moves are part of the arsenal for a pretty boy tag team.
But I have to say, it's a little weird that Stan Lane busts out this karate arsenal for no reason. Is he wrestling or auditioning for a Chuck Norris movie?
Barry distracts the ref and Lane tosses Mike over the top rope. Of course! The ref misses the infraction. Classic.
Rotundo's back with a sunset flip attempt, but it gets blocked with a right hand to the face. And now Mike Rotundo is in peril, to say the very least.
Stan Lane hits a swinging neck breaker in the middle of the ring, but he misses the follow-up elbow drop. Mike finally makes the tag to Barry Windham, and listen to that reaction.
Yeah, or lack of reaction. No one cares about the U.S. Express here at the Metrodome. Honestly, the crowd's so indifferent, they might as well have introduced them as the FedEx Ground Tag Team. Slow, forgettable, and nobody's tracking them.
Noggin knocker. The crowd comes alive just a little as Barry really puts his full effort into this comeback.
Irish whip, and Barry hits a power slam on Stan Lane, but it's only good for a 2 count.
And just as Barry gets some more momentum, Steve Keirn blindsides him from behind. Here we go again.
Lane with a headbutt on Barry, driving him to the mat and into the corner. Keirn gets whipped into the corner, but Barry counters with a sunset flip on Lane, only gets 2.
Heat is on as Barry Windham now as the Fabulous Ones start their double teaming game. Irish whip, Barry counters with a kick, but both men knock heads at the follow-up. Very bizarre moment there.
Barry makes the tag, but the referee didn't see it. And listen, still no pop. Not a big deal though, because even if the ref had seen it, the fans wouldn't care.
It's like trying to cheer for someone switching seats on a bus, just not worth the energy.
Whip in and a drop kick by Rotundo. He decks Steve Keirn, wishbones him, and drops a leg right in the crotch.
Rotundo follows with an Irish whip and, you guessed it, a fireman's carry. Because that man loves his fireman's carry.
Airplane spin by Rotundo, but as he's spinning, Steve Keirn trips him from the outside. Lane lands on top of Rotundo, but it's only good for a 2 count.
Lane tries to keep control with an Irish whip and a backdrop, then sets up for a pile driver. But here comes Barry Windham. Yeah, think about that. That was the highlight so far. And the match ended with a DQ so stupid, it made the acting.
In 14 minutes and 1 second, the U.S. Express defeat the Fabulous Ones at Wrestle Rock 86.
Not a good sign when your opening match is already sinking faster than a lead balloon. But hey, this is the AWA. Anything can happen.
If that's the highlight, you know we're...
Yeah. I mean, this match wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. It was just kind of there. It's like ordering plain toast at a diner. Technically edible, but let's not pretend it's exciting anyone.
Well, at least I leaned into the Cold War theme, because if the wrestling doesn't grab your attention, outdated geopolitics will.
No, if you're into awkward brawling instead of actual wrestling, it's a...
Exactly. No urgency, no stakes. It's like they're just killing time until the next commercial break.
Stick around, folks. Because if this is the pacing we're sticking with, it's going to be a long night.